We want to build the #1 international baseball league.
Oh, what a catch! What a catch, baby!
Like I said, I feel blessed.
The pitcher grabbed by Schlitter goes for the force of the plate.
Ground ball, double play, game over. Wow!
This is a money ball, gentlemen, and this.
Oh, money ball!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Baseball United podcast, your premier voice in international baseball. I'm your host, Liam Skiffington. We're rocking and rolling today with Mr. Steven Moya of the Karachi Monarchs. Steven, it's great to see you. How's everything been going, man?
Man, it's great, working hard.
Love it, man. Love it, man. So you're currently out in China, right?
Yes, I'm in Taiwan right now.
Taiwan right now, okay. You've been playing in the CPBL. You're doing fantastic at the plate, man. You're leading the league in home runs. What's coming together for you right now?
Just try to keep it together, try to stay here in Asia as long as I can, But it's been a great year, it's a lot of work, and, just things are going good.
So this is your first year playing overseas, right?
No, I actually play since 2018 to 2021 in NPB.
Oh, in Japan, right? Yeah, my bad. Yeah, okay. So what's this league been like? What are the differences that you've noticed between Japan and the CPBL?
You know what? That there's no many. They handle themselves like the same way, same kind of practice, same. Maybe the pitching level and player level wise is a little bit higher, but other than that, I think everything is pretty much the same. Similar. It's pretty much the same for me.
Got it. So we'll dive a little bit more into that experience. But first, Steven, I want to get to know you a little bit, how you grew up. I know you were born in Puerto Rico. You were raised in the Dominican. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So what was it like growing up in the Dominican? Obviously, baseball is more than a sport down there. It's a way of life. So when do you remember first falling in love with this game?
I started loving the game when I was not too much of an outgoing guy when I was younger. My mom was really protective of me, and I fell in love with the sport just by watching the kids playing outside. I didn't know much still about baseball or MLB or anything. I just wanted to be outside playing what those guys were playing. It looked fun to me, so from that moment, I just wanted to play it. I just started doing it inside the house, throwing tennis balls to the wall and catching it myself and playing with myself. So that's kind of was my start and my first time I started falling in love with the sport.
I remember the last time, excuse me. I remember the last time we talked about a year or so ago. You told me that you grew up playing. It's a game. I might butcher the name, so forgive me. Vitilla? Vitilla. Okay. Tell me a little bit about that because I'm sure the audience would like to know.
Vitilla is just like it's like the cap of the bottle of water we drink in the DR. So it's kind of like this big, and you put one on top of the other against each other, and you stick it with something that they stick together, and that's the ball. That's the baseball, basically. But it's easier to make effects, curveball, sliders, a fastball. You have to dominate it with your fingers, just like a baseball, but it has more, more break. So it's kind of harder to hit than a baseball. So you play sometimes teams of 3 or 2, but it's really fun, and you just use a stick, so a broomstick to play with. So that's it.
Got it. So, Steven, at what age, once you were playing baseball, at what age did teams start approaching you, and did you kind of have the realization that you were going to be able to be a professional baseball player?
No, it wasn't until late. I was already compared to today's, way of doing it, that they're looking for guys like 11, 12 years old. I was already almost 15 when I started doing tryouts and all that. So it was kind of late for me. but at the end it worked out well, and I just had to work really hard just to try to get in, and I got in when I was 17. So, yes.
So, Steven, right now you're 6'5", 6'6", 250, 260, something in that ballpark, right? At what were you that big at 16?
Uh, when I was tall, at 14 years old, I was already 6'4", but I was skinny. I was nowhere built like this. It's been it always was a struggle for me to gain weight, to get big, but I was already tall. I was really skinny. So I started getting big enough when I turned 19, 20, that I started, gaining weight. And, it was not easy, but a little bit better built.
Once you got into pro ball, I'm sure they were able to help you kind of develop that physique, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, it's a lot of gym, a lot of hours of work and eating. Yeah.
So, like we said, you signed with the Detroit Tigers in 2008. What was the transition to professional baseball like for you?
It was it was a little bit hard for me because previous to signing, I didn't have much playing time. It was just practice. That's all I knew. A lot of practice, practice, practice. And when I transitioned to when I signed with the Tigers, learning all the fundamentals, all the all those stuff about baseball that I had no idea about. I just knew the basics. But I I worked a lot, and I had a great group of coaches that helped me develop and grow in baseball mentality wise.
Is there any players that you looked up to growing up, Steven?
I was right there around a bunch of great guys. Miggy, all those guys that Torii Hunter. But my favorite player ever is Barry Bonds. So when I started actually watching baseball, I still watch those guys play. Alex Rodriguez and Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz. So those guys, they were like, oh wow, those I want to do it like that.
Got it. I don't know if you saw this. Barry Bonds was just inducted into the Pittsburgh Pirates Hall of Fame over the weekend.
Yeah, I saw that, and I'm really, really, really glad they did that. They soon need to induct him into the actual Hall of Fame.
I agree. I agree. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, Steven, moving forward in your professional career, in 2012, you went down, you had Tommy John surgery. Tell me how that came about and what the rehab process was like.
Um, uh, well, yes, in 2000, July 16th of 2012, I got surgery, and I didn't stay long. I lost the rest of that year. Um, that year I was having a terrific year, but I was able to come back right away. I was ready for next spring training. I just lasted like 4 or 5 months of recovery, and I was already by spring training I was already in playing. So that just like things that happened. I was really young. I was developing my physique, developing my muscles and all that, and something that happened only to pictures suddenly happened to me. So I was really surprised, scared, didn't know what was going to happen, and but thank God everything turned out okay.
Absolutely. So 2014 comes around. You're having the best season of your professional career so far. You're named the Eastern League MVP, and then you get called up to the Detroit Tigers. Bring me into that day and what that phone call was like, or whether your manager just brought you into the office to tell you. Bring me into that.
Well, that day I was playing Akron. That's the double A for Cleveland Indians. And actually, the manager called me in to the office after the game, and he said I was going up to, well, not Detroit. I was going up to the big leagues, and they were actually playing Cleveland Indians at that time. So I just had to drive a couple miles up the road, and I mean, that was amazing because everybody was kind of expecting it and kind of knew but didn't know, and I was scared. But thank God they made that call, and that was a terrific time for me.
Who was your first phone call after you got the news?
My wife, and then my mom, and then like all of my families, and like But my first call was my wife because she was like that year. I just got married to her that year, so she was really supportive that year for me, and that was really special.
That's so unique because a lot of guys who get called up, some guys are in Massachusetts, they got to fly to California or what have you. You said you were a couple miles down the road, so that had to have been fantastic. A little less pressure, right?
No, I think it was the same amount of pressure. I mean, you're still going to the big leagues, no matter how you get there. Like you're still going there. You're just thinking about like how it's gonna be your first at bat, getting to play again, in front of so many people. Like you want to get that hit out of the way, and I mean, there's so many thoughts, so many things at the same time. But thankfully, like in my first at bat, I got that hit out of the way.
Yeah, you got to base knock your first at bat, right? What,
Yeah.
Steven, so when you first walk into the Cleveland Indians ballpark, what was that like for you? What do you remember?
I just remember like this is a nice locker room. Like, this is not like any minor league locker room I've been in my life. So if this is gonna be like this everywhere, like this is gonna be fun. So and it was. It's great. Great environment. Completely big league kind of like. So I was really really surprised and amazed.
So you were up and down the next few years between Detroit and AAA. What was it like for you to share the field with guys like you said, Miguel Cabrera, Torii Hunter, Justin Verlander? So the list goes on and on because that Detroit team was very stacked.
Yeah, he was really packed with great talent, great personalities, and it was a great time for me because I got to learn a lot from them. Ask Miggy a lot of questions, ask Torii Hunter, fielding, outfield stuff. Like I just took that time to ask questions, learn, and make the best of it.
Right. Miguel Cabrera, obviously one of arguably could be the best hitter in Major League Baseball history. Torii Hunter, one of the best outfielders defensively in Major League Baseball history. What were some of the specific things you remember talking about with those guys, Steven, that you were able to take forward in your career?
I mean, like every day in every batting practice, the things that I learned from Miggy is that I used to watch him every day, take batting practice and see him like hitting the ball of the cage. Like for example, missing the ball off the cage a couple times before every like in the first round of every BP, and I asked him like, "Hey, are you doing that on purpose or like what's going on? What's your plan?" And he used to say to me like, "Every day I want to see the ball as deep as I can, so I'm not jumpy, and I can actually let the ball travel and and make contact with him, with the ball here. So I just want to read the ball all the time. So those kind of little details are that I know that make him great, and are helping me now and helped me my whole career. So
Absolutely. What do you remember, Stephen, about like the leadership that those guys displayed, like Cabrera, Hunter? Because there was also a lot of young guys on that team as well.
yeah, leadership wise, like I can see like how those guys they were passionate about winning all the time, and like how they carry themselves. Like since they got to the ballpark, their work ethics all the time, and how they deliver and try to every young guy coming up would do the same, and get themselves ready to play and respect the game, and love the game and go out there every day and give the best of themselves. So those kind of things is that I watch every day and say like, okay, this is how things are supposed to be, and try to learn from it.
What was it like playing for Brad Osmus?
I mean, my time in the big leagues, it was short, but he's a great manager. He's always was there, um, giving the best of himself, like trying to teach the younger guys like how to play the game and try to take from all of us the best that he could. So great leader, great guy, and I think I give thanks to him for a lot.
As you mentioned, short time in the big leagues, but Stephen, I have to ask, where was your favorite place to play while you were in the big leagues?
Well, I didn't get to go to many places. I like Cleveland a lot. It's a great ballpark, a great scene, and actually I like the Royals better because it's where I hit my first home run. So I have to say that the Royals place.
Kansas City.
Kansas City, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful ballpark. Beautiful.
Beautiful ballpark, yeah.
So, Steven, we mentioned you're currently playing in the CPBL. You're actually in contention right now. I'm sure you know this, but you're in contention right now for a triple crown. You're fourth in average, you're first in home runs, you're second in RBIs. How are you feeling about the remaining 30 or so games you guys got left?
You know what? I don't think too much. Like, if all those things are in the package, great. But I'm not trying to think too much, so I can keep myself relaxed. Just go day by day, and do the stuff that I need to do to help the team win. If I can focus on that, I know everything else is gonna come through. But it's great that I'm having this year, and that would be awesome. Like to win a triple crown anywhere is good.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. So, Steven, I'm curious how, when you mentioned you played in Japan, once you got to Japan, once you got to the CPBL, how are you able to navigate the language barrier?
we have translators here, so it's not that complicated when you have someone that's translating everything for you. And at the ballpark, you talk with the coaches, you talk with the players, your teammates, and it's kind of not that hard if you have a translator. If I didn't have a translator, I would be kind of in trouble right now because Chinese is really hard. So
Right, right. So is your translator just following you around the ballpark basically all day?
uh, kind of. Once you get to know the everyday life, like in the beginning, they were kind of like behind me all the time. But now,
Mhm.
like I don't even need them anymore. Like if I really need something, I go get them, or I call them. But other than that, I go to practice. I do all my stuff, and I don't need translation. And by now, I know words. I know how to, say a couple things, and uh, that's kind of easier not by now.
Got it. So we mentioned you played in Japan, you played in Taiwan, you've played in Mexico, you've played in the Dominican Republic. You also recently played in Dubai at last year's All-Star Showcase with us. What was that experience like for you?
Playing in Dubai was completely new. Well, not only for me, but I know for all the guys that were there, even for you,
Yeah, for
maybe
everybody, for everyone.
for everybody was new because it's actually a new league. But it was a completely, different experience. Great to start, history in a place where uh, they never had baseball before, and you try to start something new that new there. It was great. So being able to play all around the world and go to a place and make history playing baseball in that place is a completely different feeling.
How did you first get involved with our organization, Steven?
I just I just got a call. I got a text from Eddie Diaz asking me if I was interested in going to play in Dubai. And I said, like, Dubai? Like, do they even play baseball there? I said, like, no, but we are gonna be the first ones. I said, like, all right, I'm on board. I want to go there. So yeah, that was the start.
When you heard about our ownership group, when you look around sports, there's no other ownership group like this one. No one has more accolades. No one has more Hall of Famers. That had to, when you first heard about that, Stephen, that had to instill confidence in you that this league wasn't just some small time thing, right?
No. Actually, I took it very seriously because of like you said, like the amount of athletes and guys that know the game, that they know what it takes. They know what they're going to do. So I knew it was not gonna be like, oh, let's try this, let's see how it goes. No, I knew it's gonna be something that's gonna go far, just because the people that is driving it. So I took it very seriously from the beginning, and I know for sure it's gonna go far.
And you were in the clubhouse, Steven, so you can attest to this better than me, but it seemed to me every single player over there took what we're doing here very, very seriously.
Yeah, Yeah, completely. I completely agree with you on that. Everybody was trying to give the best of themselves, so it was a success from the game. So uh, me speaking with all the guys like in the lobby at the hotel, like, hey, let's do this, like trying to encourage each other, like to give our best, to give a great show. That first couple games, that exhibition games, uh, we wanted to do really good, make plays, hit home runs, run the bases hard, like when we were kids, like when we were just starting. So all the fans, all the new fans we are trying to reach. They say like, oh wow, I want to do that just like we did when we started playing, when we first saw the game. So that was the goal, and I think we achieved it. And now we just have to keep going and keep doing our best.
What can you say about the atmosphere at Dubai International Stadium during last year's showcase?
I mean, I know people were expecting. I know people were looking to say like, let me see what's this about. But it was super. It was great. It was like it was more than I was expecting. There were even Dominican people in the stands. They were saying like, "What are you doing so far from home?" Like you said, we are everywhere, Dominicans. I mean, and they put a little sauce to the stands, and it was great. So I didn't feel like so strange in the stadium. It was like home welcoming, and the atmosphere was great, and I loved it.
Stephen, what were some of those some of those other interactions you had with the fans that really made you feel like, wow, what we're doing here is so special?
Um, I was so focused in the game, and that I didn't get to watch the stands and go there and meet people because. But what I could see is just like I saw that people were just like interested in what we were doing and hoping for more. So that's what I saw, and when I saw that, I said, okay, we got them where we want them. So we
Yeah.
just like have to keep doing what we know how to do. That's play baseball.
When you take a look at our leadership team here at Baseball United, that also, in addition to our ownership group, our leadership team also has to kind of instill a level of confidence in you that our league is going to continue to grow and thrive.
Of course. I see, all the people in the front office, all the staff, Cash himself, like he, those are people that they were working day and night while we were there, and before we arrived, and after we left. So I know for sure that they're giving their 200% their effort to make that happen and make it succeed. And I know Cash is not the first time he's done great things before baseball, and he's a businessman that he knows how to grow a business. And I know for sure that with the help of all the experienced guy that played baseball before, he's going to succeed in what he's trying to do and achieve. So I think he's going to be a success moving forward.
So, Stephen, we recently announced our three major events for this year, starting with the Arab Classic, then the Baseball United Cup, which is in February of 2025, and then the full season, which is in October of 2025. What was your initial reaction when you heard this news? Because at last year's showcase, everyone was kind of playing together, if that makes sense. Even on both teams, everyone was doing it for one mission. And now you kind of have the franchise model where you guys are going to be going head to head, trying to win something.
I mean, like now it's completely different thing. Like now you have to win for your team, for the city that you are representing. So now it's gonna be even better because you are going to give your best to give the fans of every city the opportunity to win for the first time. So who's going to be that first team? Who's going to be that first team that is going to win a championship? And make a big deal about it. So and just go there and fight all the guys that you've been playing with, against, and see who's the best. So that's the thrill. So I'm looking. I was sitting here and said, okay, yeah, finally we have dates. Finally we have numbers. Finally we can see like we actually going to start doing something.
Absolutely. Steven, are you excited to see kind of how these rivalries between these teams start to form?
Yeah, yeah. I don't, I don't really. I'm not sure because I'm not from there. Like how intense it would be the rivalry against all the teams. It will all depends on how the fans react from each city and see like how committed are they and how really how we see from fans like, oh, these guys really want to win, so we better go at it, So it depends on the fans usually sometimes.
Right. So I know in any sport, Pakistan and Dubai is a major, excuse me, Pakistan and India is a major rivalry. So
Oh
you're,
yeah, that's
as a
right.
member of the Karachi Monarchs, you're going to be right in the thick of it, my friend.
Yeah, that's right. Now that I remember, yes, like that. Pakistan and Afghanistan. No,
Pak-
Pakistan.
Pakistan and India, so
Yeah,
Mumbai.
Pakistan and Indian. Yeah, in India. Yeah, I'm right there in the middle. I need to. I better do. I better do what I'm supposed to do and help my team win.
Steven, so how important is it to you to continue to be a part of our league and grow this game that you've loved since you were a kid?
Uh, but I was there last year. We accomplished the goal of starting something new and making history. And moving forward, I just want to uh, build the content and build the history. So be part of what we accomplish first. Be part of like building that league and being there and build numbers there and be known there for helping that league develop. So that's kind of like how I see it and why I want to be part of the league and help my best way the years that I still have in baseball and and put one more league in my resume.
Right, right. Steven, so what was your overall opinion of, I know you got to kind of go around Dubai, experience the culture and all of that stuff when you weren't at the baseball field. I remember seeing you in was it basically the desert when everybody was going camel riding and riding ATVs. What was your overall experience in Dubai like?
You know, amazing city. A lot of history. Um, you get to experience the desert. You get to experience the big buildings, Burj Khalifa. You get to experience the food, uh, see the people, and different culture. It's a lot. It's a lot, and I need more than week and a half to really talk about it and experience all the things that they have to offer. So that's one more reason I'm looking forward to being that lead for a couple a long time and try to enjoy a little more of that culture.
Bro, I remember last year you told me on your flight over to Dubai, you got stuck in the middle seat.
Oh yeah. That's how you get a 6'7" guy in the middle seat going and traveling 16 hours like so like oh my god, but it's okay, it was good. I managed it. I'm used to it and it ended up being a good flight. It wasn't that bad.
Gee, I couldn't imagine, man. I couldn't imagine. I'm regular size, and I was like, damn, this flight is long. But you had to be uncomfortable, bro. But Steven, before we wrap up here, any messages to the fans out in Dubai, out in Karachi, out in India, everywhere in the Middle East and South Asia who are waiting for you guys to come back and give them a great product of baseball?
I mean, like, I can say, like, we are counting on you, just like you are counting on us, to give our best performance and for you to go to the ballparks and cheer us up. We are doing this for you guys because that's what it's all about. And just go to the games, enjoy it, and we will always give our best of ourselves to, make yourself like have a good experience. Build great emotions and memories so you can tell your kids and you for enjoy and have for many years to come. So that's our goal and that's what baseball is all about: emotions, happiness and, bravery and, have fun.
Steven, a pleasure as always, my friend. Thanks for taking the time to join. Thanks for sharing your passion. And I'm looking forward to the next time we get to speak down the road.
All right, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.